Hello everyone, it's Packer. I just want to give you all a little warning before this video starts. This video is different than a lot of my other ones. This is about the Yule Man. If you don't know about this SCP, it is brutal. I want to go something a bit darker for this holiday season. So if you're sensitive to blood, guts, murder, that sort of thing, you definitely stray away from this one. But I think that's all. Happy holidays, folks. Bit of a dark way to have your holidays, but hey, that's what SCP Foundation's all about. Hope y'all enjoy. Hello, everyone. It is me, Dr. Packrat, and thank you for attending today's lecture. We will be having the site Christmas party after this, so please, let's get this over with, everybody. Today's SCP is SCP 4666, also known as the Yule Man. Description: SCP-4666 is currently believed to be a single, exceptionally long-lived humanoid entity of unknown origin. Survivors of Weissnach events typically describe SCP-4666 as a very elderly man of European descent with an extremely emaciated appearance. The entity always appears completely naked, even when observed outdoors in freezing weather. Though the nature and extent of its anomalous properties remain uncertain, SCP-4666 appears capable of instantaneous or near instantaneous travel to any location north of 40 degrees latitude and possibly any location on Earth. SCP-4666 activity occurs exclusively within a period of 12 consecutive nights every year from the night of December 21st, 22nd to the night of January 1st or 2nd. This period is known as SCP-466's active phase. During this phase, in what are termed Weissnach events, SCP-4666 will appear at dwellings in one or multiple locations north of 40 degrees latitude. In all known Weissnach events, these dwellings will have shared following characteristics: isolated rural location, home to a family with at least one child under the age of 8, and situated in an area with snow cover lasting throughout the entire duration of the event. Weissnach events consist of the following general progression. Nights 1 through 7. Children report seeing SCP-4666 in the vicinity of their family's dwelling. The entity will typically be observed watching the dwelling from a distance, such as across a nearby field or from the edge of a neighboring forest. In some cases, children report waking up at night to find SCP-4666 watching them sleep through a window. Nights 8 through 11. Family members, including the parents, will report sounds of footsteps coming from the roof of the attic. An extremely unpleasant odor will also frequently be noticed inside the dwelling. No cause for this phenomenon will be found. As a result, parents will often begin to suspect that their families is being stalked, or even that their dwelling might be, quote, haunted. Night 12. Over the course of the night, one of the two scenarios will occur. I will put a warning in right now. This is graphic, so if you had any doubts in the beginning, this is where you turn back right now. The first and most common is that SCP-4666 will kill all members of the family, save for one child under the age of 8, whom it will abduct. SCP-4666 will inflict incapacitating injuries to family members while they are sleeping, then herd them into a single room of the dwelling, where it will proceed to kill them in view of each other. The method of killing varies with the event and will typically be preceded by some form of torture, which appears to serve as a ritualistic purpose. See Weissnach events log below, which we will get to. In the second scenario, which has occurred in roughly 15% of most Weissnach events, SCP-4666 will not harm the family members will report hearing footsteps inside their dwelling during the night, though no signs of forced entry will be found. In the morning, children will discover presents at the foot of their bed. These will consist of toys crudely crafted from the remains of human children. See SCP-4666-A instances log below. The criteria, if any, by which SCP-4666 determines the outcome of a Weissenach event are unknown. The following is a fingerprint belonging to SCP-4666. Note the unique double whorl pattern. Discovery: SCP-666 existence and ongoing activities were first detected in 1974 through the Foundation's newly implemented Anomalous Signature Recognition Program, also known as ASRP. This program marked the Foundation's first use of algorithms as a means of detecting anomalous phenomenon. When several highly similar home invasions resulting in family deaths were found to have occurred throughout the northern hemisphere during the nights of January 1st through January 2nd. Extensive research into civilian law enforcement archives worldwide eventually uncovered evidence of probable Weissenach events for nearly every preceding year going back to the late 18th century. Average of 3.1 known events per year. Numerous historical documents were also found which appear to describe SCP-4666 activity occurring prior to this period, in some cases as early as the 2nd century AD in Europe and Russia, and as early as the 1st century BC in Scandinavia. Document 4666 V. GRI 0091 Weissenach Event Logs. Location: Unknown Village, Croatia. Year: circa 1498. Unconfirmed. An entire family was killed with the exception of one of the children, age unknown, who was abducted. The specific details about the events are not available in recovered documents. It was noted that the killings presented strong paganistic elements, and that the family members had, quote, been made to suffer greatly prior to death. The Archbishop who oversaw the investigation wrote that he believed the family had been killed as part of a, quote, demonic ritual. Unknown Village, Rupert's Land, present-day Ontario, Canada, 1689, unconfirmed. An entire family was killed except 2 of the children, one of whom was abducted, and the other one, female, age unknown, escaped during the killings and was able to reach a nearby village. She told authorities that a naked man had broken into her family's dwelling during the night and proceeded to torture them, exact method not specified in recovered documents. Upon investigation, the bodies of the family members were found inside the dwelling, hanging upside down from the ceiling. All had their blood and organs drained and removed. I'm sorry if I butchered this name, as it is in German, but I will try my best. Idstadt, Germany, 1913. An entire family was killed, except one of the children, the youngest child, male, age 3, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 5 other children were found inside a stable next to their dwelling. They had been restrained by having knives, pitchforks, and other sharp implements forced through the palms of their hands and into the walls of the stable before having their tongues removed, leading to hemorrhaging and death. Blood from the family members had been used to paint elaborate patterns of unknown meaning on the hides of the mule, goat, and 2 cows present in the stable. The animals themselves were not harmed. Neighbors told authorities that in the week of the killings, the father of the family had mentioned finding tracks in the snow around the family's dwelling, which appear had been made by bare human feet. Palace, Soviet Union, 1956. An entire family was killed, except the youngest child, who was abducted, age 4. The bodies of the parents and one other child were found in the living room of their house. They had been restrained and their feet held over the flames in the fireplace for an extended period, calcining the tissues of their feet and exposing the bones. They then had their heads crushed with an unknown heavy implement. Hundreds of bite marks, believed to have been inflicted post-mortem, were found on each of the bodies. Footnote 1. Analysis of recovered police photographs has shown that the size, shape, and configuration of SCP-4666's teeth do not match those of a human being or of any known animal. Branches cut from a fear, I believe that's how you say that, F-I-R, tree outside the house had also been placed over the bodies to unknown purpose. Skugeinstein, Norway, 1971. Again, I am terribly sorry if I completely butchered that name. An entire family was killed, except the second youngest child, female, age 5, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 2 other children were found in the basement of their house. Each had at least one limb pulled off by brute force before being precisely stabbed 39 times with an unknown sharp implement, possibly a piece of bone from one of the removed limbs, resulting in massive blood loss and death. The family members had been eviscerated, and their small and large intestines had been cut into 30 to 50 centimeter long pieces. These had been arranged in radiating lines around the bodies. Feces from the intestines had been used to trace symbols of unknown meaning on the walls of the basement. Ejolster, Iceland, 1996. An entire family was killed with the exception of the youngest child, female, age 4, who was abducted. The bodies of the parents and 7 other children were found inside their house. All had large pieces of skin removed from their backs, necks, and groins prior to death. Removed skin was found to have been partially consumed. They had then been killed by decapitation with a bucksaw that had belonged to the family. Following death, the family members' headless bodies had been carried to their respective rooms and placed on their beds. Each of the removed heads had also been placed upright on a step of the staircase, leading from first to the second floor, with the parents' heads on top and 2 steps, and the children's heads on the lower steps in decreasing order of age. Document 4666V 30985. SCP-4666-A Instances Log. Location: Nurmers, Finland, 1811. A small wooden drum with 2 wooden drumsticks of uneven length. Drum skin consists of a 390 centimeter square piece of skin belonging to a human child, stretched with thread made from human tendons. Gallagher, Wales, 1857. A small knife, 15 centimeters in length, blade is 6 centimeters in length, sculpted from a single piece of bone belonging to a human child. Symbols of an unknown meaning have been carved into the handle. Mocket, Kazakhstan, 1903. A flute made from the hollowed-out femur of a human child. Holes have been bored at uneven intervals along its length. The femur appears to have been dyed with human blood. That's all for part 1. Part 2 should be coming out either next week or the week after. I'm having another voice actor on for this one, so that's why it's going to take longer. I hope y'all enjoyed part 1. I'm sorry this took so long to get out. I was spending time with family for the holidays and all that. But I hope everyone's had a great holidays, or whatever you celebrate. I personally had a quite good one myself. It got real cold, but everybody's alright. Thank you for stopping by. And this has been Dr. Packard with the SCP Foundation. I will see y'all next time.